The Streets of San Francisco operates on a deceptively simple premise: two detectives solving crimes in a famously picturesque city. Yet beneath this accessible structure lies a profound examination of urban consumption, and when viewed through the lens of the Cannibals, the series becomes a study of how institutions, environments, and even ideals feed upon individuals in ways that feel inevitable rather than malicious. Each episode functions like a contained parable, but taken together, they form a mosaic of a city that survives by sacrificing pieces of itself, and this sacrifice is rarely acknowledged openly, which makes it all the more disturbing. The series opens countless times with everyday normalcy, morning routines, casual conversations, familiar streets, and then introduces violence almost casually, as if reminding the viewer that danger is not an exception but an embedded feature of urban life. And this structural choice reinforces the sense that the city is always hungry, even when it appears calm. Lieutenant Stone's calm authority feels less like dominance and more like resignation, as though he understands that his role is not to stop the cycle but to slow it, and this acceptance is what separates him from more aggressive television detectives of the era, whose victories feel more definitive. Heller's presence introduces tension between idealism and adaptation, and watching him learn when to compromise, when to push, and when to remain silent feels like watching a character being slowly digested by the system he serves. The Cannibals metaphor becomes especially potent in episodes where victims and perpetrators share similar social positions, where crime feels less like invasion and more like implosion, the city turning inward and consuming its own. There are scenes set in cramped apartments where desperation clings to the walls, and scenes in affluent offices where ambition hums quietly, and both environments feel equally dangerous, suggesting that cannibalism transcends class and operates wherever power and scarcity intersect. I recall an episode where the resolution felt deliberately unsatisfying, not because the mystery was poorly written, but because the outcome exposed a deeper injustice that could not be corrected within the confines of a single case, and this narrative honesty left a lasting impression, reminding me that real harm rarely fits neatly into episodic closure. Compared to contemporary shows that often dramatize corruption through grand conspiracies, The Streets of San Francisco presents cannibalism as banal, procedural, and systemic, which makes it far more unsettling, because it mirrors everyday life. The city's geography plays a crucial role in reinforcing this theme, with steep hills symbolizing social barriers, fog representing moral ambiguity, and narrow streets emphasizing entrapment, and the camera treats these elements with respect, never reducing them to mere scenery. Personal reflection inevitably arises when watching the series, because anyone who has lived in a large city recognizes the quiet trade-offs being depicted, the moments when survival requires overlooking injustice, the times when ambition feeds on empathy, and this recognition transforms the show into something intimate rather than historical. The Cannibals, in this sense, is not an accusation directed at San Francisco alone but at urban modernity itself, and the series' refusal to moralize overtly allows viewers to confront this truth without the comfort of easy condemnation. As the series progresses, patterns emerge: recurring types of crimes, recurring failures, recurring compromises, and these repetitions reinforce the idea that cannibalism is not an aberration but a structural feature, something the city relies on to function. The final moments of many episodes linger on Stone's face or the city's skyline, inviting contemplation rather than celebration, and this restraint elevates the series beyond genre, turning it into a quiet philosophical statement about what cities demand in exchange for belonging. Watching The Streets of San Francisco through the lens of the Cannibals ultimately feels like being asked an uncomfortable question, not about crime, but about participation, about how much we consume and how much we allow ourselves to be consumed in order to live within complex systems, and the series offers no answer, only the steady reminder that the feast continues whether we acknowledge it or not.